Ready.
Set.
Gamecast.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to Ready Set Gamecast, a bi-weekly podcast about video games and art history. I'm Bryce, and I'm joined by the Van Gogh of video games, Darian.
Yo.
And Teddy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Chinaris.
I'm reading new Percy Jackson books, and it's great. Hello.
We'll get into that later. But, so Teddy, are video games art?
No, fuck them. They're trash.
What?
Flips the table. I'm never doing this show again. No, they're great. Of course, obviously. Yeah.
Darian,
God.
Darian, are video games art?
Yes.
Okay, there's your official answer. Video games are art from the Ready Set
There's
Gamecast.
that debate from 10 years ago.
Yep, got it covered. We're good. Okay, moving on. We have a lot of content to cover this week, so let's get into it.
So that Teddy can get back to writing his paper. Feels bad, man. That's okay.
Yes. So, Darian, what have you been playing?
Mostly PUBG and League of Legends.
Well,
Classic.
I think
I've gotten a few chicken dinners this week, so it feels pretty good.
you got some chicken dinners?
I'm hungry.
I did. I got a few chicken dinners.
Nice. I have yet to get a chicken dinner. Have you gotten a chance to play with that fog?
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite.
Tell me about it. Tell me what that's like.
So when you play in the fog, there's no sounds other than like your footsteps and like shots and stuff. So it's very eerie because it's like the fog is like absorbing all the rest of the ambient sounds that are usually going on. It's kind of freaky. It always sounds like you're in a building and it's really windy outside, but like that's it.
My favorite thing about the fog map is one of my friends was like, "Oh, yeah, the fog map, that's out, right? That seems pretty neat, but like you can't really see because of the fog." And my other friend's like, "That's the point."
Yeah, that's the idea.
That's how it's supposed to be. So yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it greatly changes the dynamic because for the most part, PUBG has been about getting good ranged weapons and being able to like shoot people from a distance. But with the fog, that would completely take that out. Like it being more about close combat encounters.
Yeah, I will ask this. Are there more people in buildings? Like, is it way more close? Like, there's not as many... I imagine there are still as many people running across fields and whatnot because you have to. But, like, you don't... There probably isn't as many firefights out in the field. It's, like, probably in buildings or when the circle's really small.
Well, actually, there's not as many firefights as much as, like, you got eyes on somebody because
they can't see you.
Can't see you. And, yeah, I got pretty high up with one recently. I was in a duo with my boyfriend, and, like, he was just watching me, and I had to suppress UMP, and someone just, like, ran right in front of me, like, right next to me, and I was like, bye. Like, hi,
That's
bye.
really unfortunate for them. They probably never even saw you. Damn.
They had no idea. It's pretty great. Those are my favorite. And then Worlds is happening on League, so I've been playing
Okay, I saw
that
them
as
tweet
well.
because as someone who used to play League, blah blah, I said it before. I still follow the LCS like Twitter account, and they were tweeting something about World 17. I was like, it's happening right now. Okay, when is the actual like, final championship and whatnot? Where it's like the big thing where they fill out a stadium and all that.
I'm not sure.
Well, I'm gonna say. Actually, isn't it usually in October? So it might be.
I think it's in October.
Yeah. All right. Because I
Oh.
usually like watching that, or at least watching a little bit of it.
It started. Let's see here. Started yesterday.
Yeah, it
and
usually
the
goes.
final
for a
day
while.
is November 4th.
Damn, that's far away. Okay.
So they're doing like the prelims
That's usually
right
fun
now.
to watch, even as somebody who doesn't watch or play anymore.
Yeah, I don't have time to do those.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I would enjoy watching them, I know I would enjoy, like, seeing how the pros play. I don't have time. I'd rather play.
Yeah. Pretty much.
She's a doer, not a watcher.
Okay, that's as the famous phrase goes.
That is,
yep.
yeah, that's the famous
That's the
quote.
one.
Say.
Anyway.
I've been playing a little game called Sonic Mania, and I still hate it. I don't like it.
Adam
Oh my
Wells.
gosh.
Yes, I've played more of
How
it
about that game of the year?
since the last time because I had just started the game after we just recorded. I got definitely a lot farther, and there were some stages that I really liked, where I felt like I had an idea of where I'm supposed to be going. There was a more clear path, but there's other stages that I'm just really confused on what I'm supposed to be doing, and especially boss battles that it's like, so I'm currently fighting Metal Sonic, and he is like,
Sounds pretty metal, bro.
he is like sitting up on this chair at the top of the stage, and
Rocking out, dude.
yeah, and he sends out these like little guys, and I keep crushing them, and like a little rabbit will pop out, and then he sends out another one, and after like killing like 20 of them, I finally noticed that they'll do a little like ball thing and charge you, and if you whack it away, it might bounce off the sides and hit Metal Sonic, but that is just like, there's no indication that's what you're supposed to do. You just have to kind of randomly get lucky and have that happen. And B, I don't seem to know how to really pull that off without getting hurt myself. So, yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't seem good.
there's definitely parts of it that like really feel good, but there's a lot of it that just, it's like Dark Souls, but less satisfying. Like, it's very hard, but in like a platformer, I don't.
Oh, so the Dark Souls of platforming.
Yes, the Dark Souls of Sonic.
I hate that comparison so much.
So I don't know.
That's like video game journalism's favorite as a whole. That's their favorite saying. This game is the Dark Souls of blank.
Yeah.
But
I'll definitely keep trying it. I've heard that Sonic is just brutal, so maybe I'll get past it. And I think Metal Sonic is like the halfway point. I'll see if I can maybe
if it
finish
gets even
it.
more brutal, then might as well just not.
Yeah.
Might as well just play some more Destiny 2.
I definitely have been playing that, but I figured I'd let you talk about that.
Yeah, transitions. Anyways, so Destiny 2. Last week when it was like, or 2 weeks ago when it was what am I playing, I had like 5 or something games. Everybody's Golf was there. Again, shout out to Everybody's Golf. But this time, it launched. Destiny 2 launched last Wednesday. Not, or two Wednesdays ago. Yeah, 2 Wednesdays ago. I have not played a single anything else other than maybe Magikarp Jump on this old mobile phone.
You finally got into Magikarp Jump?
No, I've been playing ever since it came out. I was playing it for like, but when I say playing it, I mean opening it for about 45 seconds, doing like one thing and then closing it and going, this is stupid. But yeah, so I've been just playing Destiny 2. We've beaten the raid. We've gone flawless 3 times on Trials of the 9. And so my Titan is up to 298, I believe it's 298. And my Warlock, I just finished the story with my Warlock, and he's level 20 at 75, so he's technically raid ready. So I want to do the raid twice this upcoming week, and my Hunter, still have to do the story. Still have to grind him. I haven't had the time. Got schoolwork to do, sadly. Got Percy Jackson to read. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. Quickly, I just want to say, as somebody who plays Destiny for the raids, the raid in Destiny 2, the Leviathan, is really, really good. I don't know where to put it on the ranking of raids, though. I've thought about it a bunch, but I really just don't know yet. Maybe after a couple more completions, I'll know where it goes. But, like, a lot of them are kind of repeats. The first bath section is very similar to the totems in King's Fall. The underbelly of the Leviathan, all the maze sections where you can like skip opening the doors into the encounters if you know that well enough, and where all the chests are and under there. That's really, really cool. I like the Callus boss fight a lot. The Gauntlet's really fun. The dogs was terrible, and they were awful to figure out blind, but now that we know how to do the dogs, they're like super easy. So I don't know. I'll check back next time and I'll give a ranking of my favorite Destiny 2 raids, or Destiny raids, because there's only one Destiny 2 raid and there's 4 Destiny raids.
I rank the one Destiny 2 raid in last place.
I'm gonna say
it's the worst Destiny 2 raid.
It's true, or the best. You decide.
Technically both.
Yeah.
I have not done the raid yet. I've done both Nightfalls. The current Nightfall sucks balls.
Well, I think there's been 3 Nightfalls now, but yeah,
Has there?
The current one. Yeah, there's been 3.
Oh.
So when did it? Wait, hold on. Game came out September 6th. Oh, 3 Wednesdays ago. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. But yeah, this current Nightfall is really bad.
Yeah,
It's really bad.
I mean,
The modifier attrition is awful.
and that
Shouldn't be there.
that plus the timed, like we had to have somebody come in and show us where all the anomalies were, and I tried helping some people earlier today go through it, and but with the attrition and the time and just like the craziness of that last boss battle where you like have no room to move around, the stupid overcharged shanks make it so you can't like jump. It's just a slaughterhouse unless you have.
So just in case you guys don't know, attrition is a mod that's pretty much like your shield. Your health doesn't regenerate near as fast. It's kind of like the one from Destiny 1 that I'm forgetting the name of at the moment. But instead of the one with Destiny 1 where it's like you had a really big health bar, but it regenerated way slower, this one just takes forever to start regenerating, like a really, really, really long time, unless you pick up these health pools that enemies drop when you kill them. But not all enemies drop them when you kill them. Sometimes you kill like 10 in a row, and it's like, there's no health, I'm just gonna die. And then you die.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think I happened to catch that the one time I hosted you.
Of us being...
You guys were playing together.
Yeah, we were playing together and getting
I
our butt
just
kicked.
need this one, and you got it, but you died before you could get to it because it was behind other people.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's
nice.
okay. I'm sure next week's won't be. Also, Destiny 2 had a lot of weird bugs this last week, but it's okay. Don't even worry about it. Most of them, don't run the Prestige Nightfall. If you're hearing this before Tuesday, don't run the Prestige Nightfall. But next week it should be good. Hopefully.
What time does Destiny 2 reset on Tuesday?
Monday night at 4 a.m.
Okay, so the podcast comes out Tuesday, so that'll be,
okay. Well, then, nope, you're good. You're good to go.
Unless the new one
Unless
is
it breaks
bugged.
again.
Yeah,
It's possible.
it might still be accurate. Okay, so that is the games we've been playing. Time to get into some news. So
I love news. It's my favorite.
good. So Nintendo had a little thing called the Nintendo Direct, and they had some stuff to tell us about.
Someone who doesn't own a Switch, I was not super invested, and I did not watch it.
Well,
but I did see all the news that came out.
Do you own a DS?
I do own a 3DS.
Well,
it's right
then
here.
you should be
literally covered in dust.
Well, then this one was for you because there was very little Switch news, but a lot for DS owners. Let's see.
But I have Mario Golf. What more do I need in life?
Well, would you like to play some
Nothing.
Minecraft? Because Minecraft is finally coming to the 3DS, or actually just came to the 3DS.
Who the fuck cares? It's so late at this point. Who cares? That would have been nice to have on the 3DS like the whole time. But like, now? Now you're bringing... Okay, interesting.
Minecraft recently did that deal where like wherever you're playing Minecraft, you can play together, except for PlayStation. Everywhere else,
Yep.
I wonder if
Feels
the
bad.
3DS is covered in that, or if that's.
That's a good question. It could be, could not be, because it's like the internet functionality is way more limited.
Yeah, I'm guessing not, but they were probably like working on that and be like, hey, Did you guys know that we're not on 3DS? Why don't we just port it over there?
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe.
Another game coming to the 3DS is the Top 100 Mario Party. Well, it's called the Mario Party The Top 100, which is the top 100 Mario Party games over every Mario Party. So you got lots.
Darian looks very excited about it. Other than the fact that it's on 3DS, probably.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind that at all. I've got a bunch of trips coming up, and I'm not comfortable bringing my Switch out of my home.
Doesn't that defeat the whole point of the Switch?
But I have a 3DS, so like this is awesome.
Okay.
I just I'm very clumsy, and I'm too afraid I'm going to break it.
Yeah,
Just
that's
this is a
valid
very
concern.
expensive gaming machine that will just stay here.
All right.
Don't
Yeah,
go
I can
anywhere.
see that. But yeah, most people I saw were excited about this, and then they saw 3DS, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Mario Party the Top 100 is so cool." Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm really excited about that. When does that come
there
out?
you go.
Let me see here.
November 10th.
Yep, November 10th.
That's so long.
It's not that far at all.
That's so long. That's after 2 of my trips.
But so Darren, you have a Switch, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you excited
The
to play
only
some
one.
Doom or Wolfenstein 2?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, just like
No, I'm
no.
Damn.
I don't know.
You don't want to play some first person.
I've never played either of those.
Very violent.
I played Doom. I quite enjoyed it. But here's the thing. I didn't enjoy
also don't
Doom
like
near as much as
FPSs.
everybody else did. When I opened Doom, I played for probably like 4 to 5 hours. And like the map is kind of cumbersome. And like moving around that world, I felt like wasn't super well designed. With like I got lost a lot even with the map. I don't know. Like the flow of it, I felt like Doom would have been even better if it just was kind of Wolfenstein-ish, where it was just completely linear, where it's just like go. I played the first Wolfenstein recently on stream for like a week or something until I beat it. That game is really good, but it's like even if I had a Switch, I wouldn't want to play Doom, and I want to wait because Wolfenstein 2 comes out later on the Switch than it does on the other consoles.
I thought it was the same
It
time.
does. Nah, it's later. It's like a couple months or something. It's like into early next year. But like, I will say, really, really, really good news that the Switch is getting these games though. That's like a really good sign that it'll continue to get games of this kind of caliber and maturity level in the future.
I think so. Does that mean that they're actually trying to bring Switch back into the competitive playing field with the other consoles?
I mean,
Well,
No,
I'm surprised.
I mean,
well,
I
you
feel
said
like they're
competitive
taking a
playing
step
field, I immediately
toward
went no. They're trying to accept more of the third-party games that come to those as well.
I mean-
but I don't think they're trying to compare the two
I mean,
or the three.
I could see Doom came out. Was it a year, maybe more ago? It feels.
It was last year.
Okay. So
Doom came out
really?
last
I
year.
feel like it was
yeah,
2 years
and
ago.
this article that he posted,
Yes, it is.
like the second or the very first paragraph is Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, and last year's Game of the Year winner, Doom. So it came out
Damn.
last year.
Yeah, it came out May 13th last year. So
But yeah, so
Oh, that was my 1 year stream anniversary.
they're bringing full AAA games to the Switch. So that's actually very interesting for what the future of this. I mean, I think they are hearing what people are saying, that like we want to play games on the Switch because the Switch is awesome. You can play it on your TV, you can play it in the bedroom, you can play it wherever you're going. You can always have your game.
sounds nice.
Yeah, it is, Teddy. You should really get a Switch.
The other day, I laid down and I wasn't tired, so I went and played Mario Kart. Just in front of me, laying in my bed, just playing Mario Kart.
I'm not gonna
It was
lie. I
freaking
played
great.
I played a good amount of Zelda, at least 20 hours or more. But like I did on the Wii U, and I hate the gamepad so much that I eventually was like I can't.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not gonna
gamepad
do
is
this
trash.
anymore. And I every now and then I get cravings where I'm like, I really kind of want to play some more Breath of the Wild because that game's really good, but I don't want to play it on that.
Switch.
So one of these days, one of these.
So
days. I will say though,
I don't
did you
even know
guys
why I bought a
see-
Switch.
Did you guys look at any previews or anything? Doom and Wolfenstein 2, or at least Doom, is 60 FPS, right?
I didn't see.
Okay, I'm
Doom
almost
for
positive
sure
it would
is.
be, because like there's no way they would release it not at 60, because that's kind of like Doom's whole appeal, which is even more impressive that it's coming to Switch and at 60. Like that's really impressive for the console. So really exciting stuff.
I'm curious to see what other stuff that they'll release. And I'm also wondering then what the capability is of those little cartridges, because they seem like powerful little things if it's just one cartridge for the whole game.
Well, what I hear is
Such a
that
big
there's
game.
going to be games that you need to download additional stuff off to be able to play. Well, supposedly that like everything you'll be able to play part of the game with, but there are going to be games that you have to download like the full game. See, yeah.
Okay.
So there is a limit on the size, and they're going to just
They'll have to get a micro SD.
yeah. So they're going to deal with
That'll
that.
work.
But I think there's a game that they might be able to fit on the cartridge, and that's the Nintendo Arcade Classics that are coming to the Switch. So if you young kids don't know, Mario Brothers used to be an arcade game that you would go to the arcade and you'd run.
Tell me more, Dad.
And you'd run around and you'd fix the pipes back when Mario was a plumber. And
He's no longer a plumber.
yeah.
You know, he got fired.
there was-
Didn't do a good enough job.
I don't think he got fired. I think he moved on.
Okay,
He was
that's reasonable.
he was seeking opportunities elsewhere. That's
Yeah.
what they used to tell us at the bank when people got fired, and they weren't allowed to tell us they got fired.
Okay.
They're seeking
Too real.
opportunities elsewhere.
Here's the thing. Just fucking virtual console. Stop.
Yeah,
Stop with this.
Nintendo's just like, look at all this other cool stuff. Like,
Virtual
Teddy
console.
sees right through your shit.
It's time.
Yeah, so
that's what I have to say about that.
These are not virtual console stuff because a lot of these games have been on the virtual console, but those were the NES ports. These are actually ports of the actual arcade games, which are just like very subtly different than the normal ones. So here is the list of games that will be coming out as part of the Arcade Archive titles. We've got Mario Brothers versus Super Mario Brothers versus Balloon Fight versus Arcade Climber versus Pinball versus
Ice Climber.
versus Clue Land and
My favorite game.
and versus Punch Out. So I get like I would love for them to just give me the virtual console, but I guess they're gonna be weird with this stuff for now. But them not giving us the virtual console. Oh wait, no. We have one more story to cover or two more stories before we get to that. First, we have to talk about a little man named Mario and the fact that he has nipples.
Woo! Rejoice.
Mar
Don't know why, but he has nipples,
Yeah.
and it's great.
It's
It's a hot debate
news.
on whether or not Mario's a human. So if he has nipples, that also in the same article it says he doesn't have a belly button. So I mean he's human, but he's not woman born. I guess.
I mean, Link doesn't have nipples, so is Link.
yeah,
not human?
but he does have a belly button.
Also, this is
Put
like
them together. What do you got? You got Mink. Mario and Link,
Lario.
or Lario.
Lario. I like.
Why
Lario.
I like Lario better.
Mink sounds like he's an animal.
Yeah.
I guess he kind of
also,
is.
this is the first time of us seeing him without gloves, I guess. So we're seeing.
Wait, is that real?
I believe so.
Hands.
This is the first time both seen him without a shirt and without gloves.
I don't know about that.
And
He's gotta
everybody's
have been without
focusing on the
gloves in, like,
nipples.
some sports game, right? Because he plays all sorts of sports. He's a real
If
athletic
any time
individual.
you're gonna wear gloves, it's going to be when you're playing sports.
You're not wrong. Mario without gloves. Here's a post on GameSpot.com/forums, and then the title says, "Does Mario ever take off his gloves?" In all caps,
we
3 question marks.
So I think this is the first time that yes, they have an answer when he's on the
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah, damn. Okay, well,
His-
good for him.
his-
He's
He
out there
does in the
killing you.
original
His
animated
gloves are
TV
attached to
show.
his like bibs, so like if he takes off one, he has to take off both. How?
Actually, also, I'm pretty sure in the arcade game he didn't either.
I'm not sure.
At least in these little
unimportant.
pictures, they've got skin color, not white gloves.
Oh yeah, that is accurate. Well, I guess
Making
in his
history here.
original deal, but
He used to be a gross, dirty plumber who didn't wear gloves when he cleaned out toilets.
Ew.
but then he decided
Anyway.
like maybe he got like something really gross on his hands, and so he had to put like gloves over
Like,
to hide
Mamma
the like
Mia, I gotta put
infection.
these gloves on, dude.
Mamma mia.
I'll never not wear gloves again. The Mario origin story we all never knew we wanted.
Speaking of the Switch, Darian, did you know there's something secret hidden inside of your Switch all along?
Yeah. It made me really sad.
What?
I didn't know all along, though. It made me really sad.
Yeah, it's not like a happy
It's really, it's like
hidden thing.
endearing, but it's like, oh. I also
It's
hate
pre-
that they
it's
made
really
it
sweet.
hard to unlock.
Okay,
Like,
let's talk about what
that
it
pisses
is.
me off.
So
Yes.
it turns out that there is an Easter egg hidden in Switches where Satoru Iwata, I hope I'm saying that right, used to be
Satoru Iwata.
okay.
I don't think it's Iwata. I'm pretty sure it's Iwata.
Yeah.
Or well, I just said the same thing, but I said it faster.
But he used to be the president of Nintendo, as well as someone who had a huge impact on making it what it is. He helped program many of the early games. It turns out people have found out that inside of the Switch is hidden a NES emulator, as well as a copy of the game Golf for the NES. And the way that you unlock that is on July 11th, which is the day that Iwata died. You have to take the Joy-Cons and basically hold them close to your chest and then stick them out, kind of like he used to do in the Nintendo Directs, and that will make the game.
I actually didn't know that part. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool.
On Waypoint, you can see a video of the person doing it until the game finally pops. And so this can only be done on July 11th. And you can't just set your clock to July 11th if you've ever connected it to the internet, because the Switch will know the real time. So if you buy a Switch, you can set it to July 11th and test it out then, or you could just wait. But that's a cool little Easter egg that exists. So
That's really cool.
also,
Really good way to like pay tribute, but it's not super invasive.
yeah.
It's just a little secret.
What's also interesting is that this version of Golf has motion controls. So it's not like the straight up original deal. It's an updated version, so maybe it's like a version that they're going to put out eventually. I'm not sure, but it's very cool little tribute
interesting.
to someone who basically made Nintendo what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if it's on there, but another way you might be able to play golf is with the NES Classic Edition. And you're thinking to yourself, but they're sold out. I'll never be able to get one unless I pay $5,000.
Wow, it's a lot of money
That is.
for okay.
But I have good news. Mr. Nintendo, he came to me one day in my sleep. He said, hey, Bryce, we're going to make more. We're going to make more.
Or they just put up a blog post saying Nintendo increases inventory of Super NES Classic Edition. NES Classic Edition returns to stores in 2018. Or that happened as well.
I mean, it could have been both. You don't know.
Okay.
But
It's true. Could have been both.
But
don't think
yes,
both is on there.
they said that there will be a lot more Super NES coming, as well as the NES Classic Edition will be coming back to stores. So basically, they're saying do not pay scalpers a whole lot of money for the NES Classics because there will be enough for everybody, which is good because they really shit the bed on the pre-orders for Super NES. So I'm very excited that like I don't have to freak out and just fight people over it. Like they say there will be enough for everybody.
I will believe it when I see it. Yeah, I just I mean they still are having Switches are a lot better now, but they're still having problems with Switches. So it's like I don't know, man. I just don't. Their past track record leads me to believe otherwise.
Now what I find interesting is, so they originally had these out like, oh, we're doing these 1 year at a time, and I was like, okay, maybe they're doing this and then they're going to release all this on Virtual Console. I wonder if the fact that they are going to put out more, if that's going to make the Virtual Console take longer because they want to sell more of these minis.
I really hope not. That's really dumb. Please don't. Just do both. You know, why not
Teddy,
both?
why are you so concerned about the Virtual Console if you don't even
Because the Virtual Console is super important. I know a lot of people that are like, man, I really want to get a Switch eventually. Those games look cool, but like, I really want it for the Virtual Console, and it's not there yet. Like, I also really want it as well.
Yeah.
I think they should do both, though, because they charge more per individual game in the console than they do for, like, the whole, like, classic mini thing.
Yeah.
Like, they should continue selling more of the minis, because there are people who are going to be like, well, I want to play it with, like, the old controller. So you just pull out your little mini that works with your HDMI TVs and stuff. Like, they should just hurry up and do both.
Yeah. I like the idea of the classics and all that, but I don't think it should ever be an either or. I think Virtual Console should have been there at launch for the Switch. I think they should have been there at launch. It should have been like, hey, all the Virtual Console games you bought on Wii U, they're still there, ready to play at launch, right?
They would not do that,
nice.
but
I think if they don't, like, okay, here's the thing: they might not have done that. But if Virtual Console does come out on the Switch and they don't say, hey, for all future consoles, we're not gonna make you rebuy Super Mario Bros. 5 times again and like over and over and over. Like, these will stay. If it's from the Switch and onwards, that's awesome. But like, it needs to be from the Switch and onwards. I think it should have been from the Wii U and onwards. But I really, really hope they do that, because I know I've heard of a lot of people that literally just every single time that like a certain game is available on Virtual Console, they keep getting it, and it's like, they're gonna keep doing that then. But I don't know. I hope not.
I don't know. Hopefully they start making improvements instead of continuing to do their same old silly antics. Silly Nintendo.
They are making some good games, though. I'll give them that. You know who also made some good games? Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley, right? I want to talk about this because the Uncharted is my second favorite video game series of all time. Like, The Last of Us is one of my favorite video games ever. Naughty Dog is, I think, arguably the best studio that is currently operating right now and making games. And Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley were like co-directors for Uncharted 2. He was also in 1. Uncharted 1, 2, 4, The Last of Us. Bruce Straley also directed a bunch of Jack and Daxter games and older Naughty Dog games with Neil. He said he was employee number 15, and he's now officially like leaving Naughty Dog and not working there anymore. We don't know what he's going off to do yet, but I'll be super interested to see what he does. Whatever he does, I'll follow it for sure, because The Last of Us is arguably one of the best games ever made, and it was because of the minds of Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley working together. So I'm curious to see the future Naughty Dog games without Bruce and like what he really put in. But I trust that he left Neil in good hands and that this was all discussed about beforehand and all that. So I wish him the best of luck. He helped make some of my favorite video games ever, so I hope he goes on to do awesome things.
Well said. Okay, so I'll take this next one because you guys probably do not give an F about Elite Dangerous.
Nope.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a space simulator. You're flying ships and being all cool.
Oh, sounds like Destiny.
Yeah, totally, because you're flying ships in Destiny. And
Oh yeah, dude. Didn't you hear about the ship combat, dude?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
So I love playing Elite Dangerous in VR. It is so cool that like you were in the ship and you were flying around, and it is so cool to see everything. But so they have had little signs that there are aliens out. Like it's pretty much just been other players that you dealt with and like other normal human ships. But there have been signs of like alien architecture that people have encountered. And then one day, somebody was going to warp to another system, and suddenly they're like got pulled into this other place, and there was a giant alien there, and their ship was completely like non-functional. So they just had to stare and watch this like ship or this alien, and then like suddenly their ship kicks back in, and like they fly off, and like everybody. And this just happened to a random person. This wasn't like they were playing on Xbox, so they were able to share it because Xbox is always recording. So that got shared, and the Elite Dangerous community was like, "Oh my god, it's finally happening!" So people have known like, okay, the aliens are out there, and I guess there's going to be an update for Elite Dangerous where the aliens are now coming to kick our ass. And they had a short cinematic trailer where it was like 3 or 5 ships trying to fight one alien. And they're like, oh man, we're doing great. We did so much damage. And then the alien just turns around and just blows them the F away. So it seems like it's going to be like a really cool boss that people are going to have to work together to tackle. And I definitely do not play all that much Elite Dangerous. My brother is super into it. But fighting aliens in VR in a spaceship is going to be really, really awesome.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah. That sounds like fun.
Darian, why don't you tell me this next news story?
Battleborn, the super popular game, is getting no more updates only 15 months after launch. They're still keeping the servers active, but they're just not updating the game anymore. They're not going to be adding or taking away features or anything like that. They're just not working on the game anymore, which is kind of sad.
It's
because
sad
of
for whoever was left
anyone who was playing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sad because the thing is, I have a friend who actually really enjoyed the game when it came out for a while, and he liked the mechanics and played it a little bit at least. But and you could tell from the Gearbox guys that they were really they really cared about Battleborn. Like every time they were on stage, they just really wanted you to like it and play the game. And it had a lot of good ideas from all of the games that were coming out around that time. Overwatch, Lawbreakers, Battleborn, all of these hero shooter type games that were all festering around the same time. Battleborn was the most MOBA Lawbreakers and Overwatch are very much not MOBA-y. There's MOBA aspects, of course, but Battleborn was the most like a MOBA, and I guess that hurt them. I guess also coming out right near Overwatch was not a good idea.
Yeah.
But something about the game, man, it didn't click with people, and the population slowly declined. And I hope the Gearbox guys, they'll be fine. They're moving on to Borderlands 3, I'm sure. But it's a bummer for a lot of them. It was probably a passion project, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to ever see something fail,
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed like really bad timing. Releasing that next. If they released it now, it would probably be a lot more successful. Now that Overwatch is kind of starting to drop off.
The hype, yeah, the hype surrounding Overwatch is gone. So now they'd probably be really good, but
Yeah,
They just
came out at the wrong time, and everybody was
it
just
was
like
really close to Overwatch too. It was
everybody was comparing it to Overwatch, and people were like, I could play that or I could play Overwatch. I'll play Overwatch, and nobody cared.
When they are like severely different games. So it's a bummer that comparison even really had to be made. But.
Yeah. So rip Battleborn. Hopefully the Gearbox, learns from this and makes something cool in the future.
Yeah, it came out It came out about 3 weeks exactly before Overwatch, and then Paladins came out September that same year. So like, I'm just waiting for Paladins to go away next.
Here's the thing,
sad
though.
to
Paladins
say,
doesn't
but
have
like,
nearly as low a population as Battleborn. Paladins is relatively successful, like on their own.
Is it?
They have
See,
their
I
own little
actually
dedicated
hate
community.
Paladins, and I would much rather see them fail because they came out like they were a fucking Overwatch clone, and that pissed me off.
Fun fact, everyone thinks they were an Overwatch clone. Paladins was in development before Overwatch was in development.
Whatever.
It's true. It is a fact. It is a fact. Like, they were in development before them.
That might be accurate. That might be true.
Yeah. There's still
when
a lot of
Overwatch
similarities.
was released, before they should have like
Just
reinvented
deleted.
something.
Sorry,
like,
guys, Overwatch
redo
came
your
out.
whole
Done.
game.
you had to you should have changed something. Like, there were so many characters that were like, oh, this is clearly this character, like this is Reinhardt,
It is a
this
bummer,
is
too, 'cause
Torbjorn. Like,
Paladins
it
was
was
playable
not
before
good.
Overwatch was playable. Like, they had closed alphas and closed betas and whatnot and open betas that were playable before Overwatch was. So it's like, I don't know, it's a bummer. Overwatch came out, was more successful, and everybody just started harping on Paladins as a clone, which, like, isn't really possible. It ended up being, but they didn't mean for it to be,
I honestly played some Paladins, and I liked it. Like,
I liked it all right.
Yeah.
I played a little bit.
For people who don't want to buy Overwatch, it seems like a great alternative, and
Yeah, free.
yeah. But I guess Darian's got some brand loyalty to the Overwatch, so. So another game that is nothing like Overwatch is Tomb Raider. and
No, it really isn't anything like
Are you
Overwatch.
sure?
Other than Hanzo, that's
I'm not
Hanzo's
sure
Hanzo.
that's. But,
they both have bows.
Yeah, they're the same.
but
Same game.
one of those is becoming a movie, and it's not Overwatch.
Sadly, holy shit.
Yeah, for
sadly.
real. That would. I bet. Oh my god. Do you think they will? They made Warcraft into a movie.
Was it a good movie?
I don't think they would. I like Warcraft. I will stand up for Warcraft. Okay?
I
Come
didn't
at
see
me,
it.
Fight me about Warcraft. Everybody, like, here's my. Oh, let me dodge real fast. No, every time I listen to like Podcast Beyond or Podcast Unlocked, they've been doing it recently. They're talking about the Tomb Raider movie, and they're like, yeah, because there's never been a good video game movie. And I'm like, that's a stretch. Let's calm it down. A lot of people didn't like a lot of video game movies, and they're even like low on the good scale. But there's a lot of video games movies that are like fine. Like, I thought Prince of Persia was fine. It's not terrible. It wasn't great, but it's not terrible. It's an okay movie.
They're saying there hasn't been a good one. There have been some okay ones, some ones that we enjoy watching.
good.
I like nostalgically, like, this is a video game I enjoyed, and the movie was decent. Not good, if that's what they're saying. They are
Decent is
correct.
still good. Decent
No,
is
it's
still
not. Decent is like passable. Good is a
But
whole other
Warcraft,
level.
I personally thought was good. I will say that. Nobody else did. my friend Eric really liked it as well. But
Critics hated
we were
it.
both really big.
I wanted to
World of
watch it
Warcraft.
because there was a little orc baby in it, and I was like, I want to see a little orc baby.
Yeah, that is true.
That was all I wanted to see, though, so I was like, I can't justify going and seeing
I-
this movie.
That was one of the most fun movies that I've seen forever because, like, I don't know, man. I thought all the characters were really likable. I thought the effects and like the art in that movie and the music too. The soundtrack's really good. It's composed by the same people who do like the Game of Thrones soundtrack and all this.
Oh.
And like the music is really good and the art is they adapted the art style of World of Warcraft perfectly to live action. Like the armor and all of that stuff. I really liked that movie. But I could totally see the issues people had with it. Anyways, we're not talking. This isn't a Warcraft the movie podcast.
So Tomb Raider the movie.
Yeah. About it.
Have either of you?
What do you think of the
It's
trailer?
coming.
Have either of you guys
trailer
played
looks
the
really
video
hype.
game?
Yeah, I haven't
Played a
beaten
little
Rise,
bit of
but
it.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think the trailer like seems like it's a remake of the game, or because I have not
Yeah.
played the game?
Oh, you haven't played the game? The trailer is very much like this is the 2013, 2014. Like this is the reboot. Like this is the reboot game. Like there are like shots that are from the game where she's like jumping off of the boat and even like in her quarters and like it's
A lot of
wearing,
times when
like, the
she shoots
exact
the
same
bow, I was like,
thing.
that's just like the game.
Yeah, it's really like a lot of people they were saying that they were taking influences from the game, but I didn't know that meant that they were like kind of recreating the game. I'm sure the story will be like different. There won't be the exact same type of characters and whatnot or something, but it looks really similar.
It seems like people really liked the game, and it seemed like they liked the story from the game. So if no,
I like the game and I like the story. I don't think that story is gonna make a good movie at all. I think that story was very video gamey, where it's like it's good, but you're kind of just going to get to the guy to then win. You know, I don't know. It was there's not very many memorable characters, or it just wasn't very memorable. I don't think it's gonna make a great movie, but we'll see.
I just because I have not played the game, I'm just going off the trailer, and the trailer did not look very good to me. It looked like the old Tomb Raider movies, and those were not good. Especially that last scene in the trailer where she's literally wearing the old outfit Angelina Jolie used to wear and be like, I'll take two. Like, no, please, no.
I thought the trailer looked, as I was watching it, it's honestly a relatively solid like trailer, but the movie itself it looks like it's just gonna be the video game. It's gonna be the action, which is
I'm
fine.
gonna go watch it, and I'm probably gonna love it because I love all of the movies that I go see.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. It just looks way more focused on the action, which is it'll be entertaining. I'll probably like watching it for the action, but like I don't think it's gonna be great. Yeah. Exactly, you know?
You know what video game movie I did enjoy? The Final Fantasy
That nobody else did?
No. Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive, which is the little
I didn't.
I really like that.
I like that movie.
And thanks to
The anime was really good.
I haven't seen that one yet. I have it because I got the collector's edition, but I have not seen the anime.
Wow.
But
Watch it on YouTube.
I will get a chance to play as part of the Kingsglaive thanks to Final Fantasy 15's new online mode coming in October, which will go on.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Okay, which will allow you to play as will allow you to create your own character and play as members of the Kingsglaive together with your friends.
So here's the thing about Final Fantasy 15. I played probably like 35, 40 hours of it when it came out, and I didn't even come close to beating it because I was doing all the side stuff. I really quite enjoyed that game. Like, I stopped because a bunch of other stuff came out. The worst part of it is the buggy camera. The combat is weird, and it's still kind of hard to get used to, but it's, like, really cool in its own way. It's, like, super charming. That game, like, when I saw this news, I was like, man, I kind of really do one day want to go back and beat that. Like, there's something charming about it. I don't know. Which I feel like most people will disagree on, because most people didn't really love that game, and if they did, they just sort of liked it. But I don't know. I want to go back at least at some point.
Yeah,
Will I ever? No. Let's be real.
I mean, I think they're doing a good job of keeping Final Fantasy, like they're putting out these like random updates, like the Assassin's Creed one and this one.
Yeah.
And it's definitely reminding me of like, I didn't get very far into Final Fantasy 15 at all.
Yeah.
But it's seeing these news stories are like, I should really go back and if I go back, I'll probably end up doing the Assassin's Creed stuff, checking out this multiplayer stuff. So the fact that they're continuing to update this stuff with seems like very substantial content definitely feels like a really cool idea, and good job.
Yeah.
Like
the multiplayer mode that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I would totally get together some people and do that at least for a little bit. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that seems like the best way to do it of just like messing around with your real life friends, because like it seemed like the combat was pretty slow in Final Fantasy 15, at least early on. So being able to mess around with your friends while doing it seems like the perfect way to play. So that will be a fun thing to look forward to in October. Now I have to figure out what the next news story is. Okay. So we'll be getting into the reason behind this a little bit later in the topic of the show. But lately, Steam reviews have seen a lot of bombing where players will get upset due to something. Like people were very upset at Dota. People were saying that Dota is the reason that we don't have Half-Life 3. So lots of people were going and leaving bad reviews on Dota.
Jeez.
So instead of preventing people leaving a bunch of bad reviews at once, they've decided to add a graph instead, which will just show like, oh, a lot of people left bad reviews recently, and maybe that'll change your mind if that means anything. But see, if anything, I think that would make it more, like make you think, oh, okay, this is probably a sign that the game's bad, because this is probably a sign that they've had a update recently that ruined the game, not oh, they probably pissed off people. That's not my first thought if I'm just a random person coming across it.
Yeah, the graph is cool, but like you still have to be knowledgeable on what's happening.
Yeah.
You still have to see it and go,
You have to be aware.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll help.
It's not a great solution.
Yeah, so
I don't know if there even really is a solution. I don't know.
But I feel like it's easier to do than like trying to prevent people from reviewing at a certain time, because a series of bad reviews happens, honestly. So there's not a good solution.
I mean,
I don't know.
If you get a bunch of review, like maybe they could just limit to amount per day. Like you can only review 1,000 times in a day, or like this game can only be reviewed 1,000 times per day. So
Yeah,
there's got to be
Maybe gate it off
something
at
better
some
than a
point.
graph that they could do.
I mean, even if they did that though, like review bombs would still happen. It'd just be like, all right, we hit our 1,000 mark. Come back
Good
tomorrow.
job, guys. Go home.
Yeah.
Get out there.
We did it.
I'm not sure like review bombers are really like persistent of like, okay guys, let's
working
spread this
together.
out. Let's
They're not a gang that all like are together, bandanas. No.
let's stay angry for a week. We need to make sure this happens over a week. We can't do it all at once.
It's a bummer.
I don't think that's how that goes down. But
There's gonna be that one guy that's like, all right, I'm gonna keep riling these people up. We're gonna keep the
Getting
flame
his posse
going.
together.
okay, so we just had some technical issues. My mic went down for a bit. But we're gonna talk about Fortnite Battle Royale, a free-to-play game. Well, Fortnite is a video game where you craft stuff and fight zombies, but they've created a mode within their game called Battle Royale, which is basically a PUBG style mode where 100 people drop onto a map and they fight each other to see who will be the last one alive. It has all the characteristics of PUBG with the addition of the crafting that is available in Fortnite. And that will be going live on September 26th and will be free to play for everyone. And you can play on PC, Xbox, and PS4. While they were working on... So Epic Games is a company who made the Battle Royale mode. They did not make Fortnite, but they made Battle Royale. And while they were doing stuff, they made Xbox and PS4 able to play together. So yeah, that is a thing that happened. And then shortly after, it turns out they disabled it because it was an accident. Teddy, what do you think about this?
I'm very. It got me very excited that the crossplay was happening. I was like, this is good news. This means that like in the future we could have crossplay with other games. Like that. This means that Sony said yes to all this, but they didn't because a couple hours later they took it down. But it does mean that it's really easy to do. That's one thing that we learned throughout all this is that it's so easy that you can do it on accident.
Yeah. Hopefully this will, definitely people were excited, and hopefully this will cause Sony to maybe agree to it, because being able to play your games no matter what system you on is the dream. Not having to go, oh, I want to play games with you. Oh, you're on Xbox. Sorry.
I had way more of that forever, like in my high school time. I had a ton of that, but now it's not as much because most people who play on console are usually on PS4 that I know. But there's still an occasion where it's like, oh, I was wanting to play that on Xbox. There's, it happens a lot with PC, but that's a lot more complicated. But yeah, that's the dream. That is the dream. That's the beautiful utopia one day.
Yeah, it seems like PlayStation is the last holdout on that because Minecraft has managed to do the play anywhere thing where people can play online on mobile and Xbox and Switch and PC, all of them together, except PS4 because Sony said no. So hopefully that'll lead to something. But we'll see how long Battle Royale lasts with the creators of PUBG a little pissed off about it existing. So, to clarify a little bit about... Okay, so Battle Royale is clearly inspired by PUBG. The creators, when they announced the thing, they said, hey, yeah, we love PUBG. We wanted to create something like PUBG. So we did this. And they're definitely not the first because GTA also create a similar mode for inside their GTA Online. But PUBG has a problem due to the fact that the engine that PUBG runs on is made by Epic. So basically someone that they were working with created a mode similar to the game that they make. And it's definitely the people who run the engine are not the people who make the games. But
yeah.
I mean, they're definitely kind of pissed off about that. And they did clarify it's not about the fact that they're making a game within the same genre. It's the fact that one of their partners, someone that and I'm not sure to what extent they really communicated, if it was just like hey, how do I make this work within your engine, or if it's like, okay.
Well, it seems like they didn't communicate at all, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
it seems like they didn't consult PUBG about it, or Bluehole Studios about it at all, and that's why they were like, they could have talked to us. But honestly, Bluehole's going about this in a very unwise way. Honestly, I can't remember who it was. Alana Pierce tweeted out something along the lines of Bluehole Studios just did the one thing that is completely benefits Fortnite and not themselves. All they did was promote Fortnite through this. They're on top. They don't have to worry about somebody coming along and stealing it. Nobody's gonna take overnight PUBG's player base. It's too massive. But honestly, a lot of this was stuff that I was like, why are you releasing public statements about this? Just talk to Epic about it. I feel like a lot of this was not smart to just release public statements. I feel like that at the very least your I don't know, at the very least I forgot my train of thought because I read something in chat. Pretty much I was saying that Bluehole is pretty much just giving Fortnite
Free advertising.
promotion with this, and that they don't. I was also saying that I don't know. I forgot the last thought.
Well, so
there was another thought.
basically, instead of talking to their partners, of emailing them and being like, hey,
That's what I was
this isn't
saying.
cool.
They should've-
They put out a public statement of like, we're upset with you and we're thinking about suing.
Yeah.
So they like took it to the people about something that should have stayed as a business thing
Yeah,
between
that's
your partner.
absolutely. I think it should have been. I think they should have just went to them privately and been like, "Hey, so what's this about?" Instead of like, it seemed like they were a little bit like releasing the mobs onto them.
Yeah, and if anything, it's going to help Fortnite because
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I mean, I don't think anybody like people are playing Fortnite. There are people I've definitely heard people love Fortnite, but not it had a big talk people were talking about when it first came out, and then it's kind of dropped off.
Yeah.
But now with all this controversy, everyone's gonna try Battle Royale to see like what has PUBG so pissed off.
Yeah.
So
they heard this whole controversy to it, and it's just free advertising.
yeah, it was.
And the game is free, so they're gonna hop in.
Yeah, it was a bad move by PUBG, and we'll
But
we'll
at
see
the
what
same
happens
time, it's a bad move. But at the same time, it's one of those where it's like they can afford to make bad moves because, like I said, nobody is going to take their audience overnight. They are too massive. So.
Speaking of bad moves, it's time for us to move into the
Oh.
topic of the show.
What? That might be my favorite transition. Speaking of bad moves, let me make one. That's great.
Well,
Oh my god.
it could be argued that at least one person for sure made a bad move, which we're going to talk about.
That's very true.
So, the popular Let's Player, PewDiePie,
I feel like popular is the understatement. Of
yeah,
the year.
he is literally has the most subscribers on YouTube by a wide margin. But he was streaming playing PUBG, which I guess is probably a better segue than what I used. But while playing, he called another player the N-word and has had massive backlash from people due to this. And we're not really going to get into that because there are much better voices to hear about that from than 3 white people. But in response to this, as well as past actions that PewDiePie has had, the game developer Campo Santo, which makes the video game Firewatch, publicly came out and said that they are going to copyright strike PewDiePie's videos of Firewatch and any future content that they make, any future games that they make, prevent PewDiePie from doing Let's Plays of. And this is the first time that a game developer has basically pulled back a permission to stream for or permission to Let's Play or stream for a specific person. There have been situations where obviously Nintendo is very like hands-on of like, no, you need to do it the way we want, and basically for a long time they were like, no one can stream or do Let's Plays of our content. And there was the big deal with Persona where they didn't want you to play after a certain point, but they haven't. This is the first time someone has come out and said, specifically you are not allowed to stream our game. And for this is for moral reasons, that they don't agree with the kind of person PewDiePie is, and they don't want their content, their game, associated with his content, with his brand. So it's definitely we are all streamers here, and this situation is something close to our hearts or what we do, because copyright strikes can affect us greatly. So, what do you guys think of how this all went down?
Well, I will say the comparison between the Persona thing and what they did and what's happening here, I think Campo Santo at least has a lot better of a reason than Atlas did for Persona, because I was quite bummed / mad about that whole Persona thing. That was really stupid. Honestly, that whole Persona thing when that was happening was just really dumb. But no, I mean, here's my take. We don't own the games that we stream or do Let's Plays of or anything like that. So technically, if any company wants to, they can just say, you can't do this anymore. Like, if any if any developer studio or publisher, I mean, Nintendo was really cracking down on Let's Plays for a while as well. So it's like, if anybody wants to, for any reason, they can just say, no more. And the only real thing that we have for that is fair use, is the fair use defense. But it's like, it doesn't really work because they still own it. So I don't know, man. It's kind of more, this whole thing for me, what reminded me where it's like, it just sort of was a reminder that we don't own this. At any point, it could all just be gone. All of the developers could just say, no more streams. Twitch is dead. And it would be interesting. They wouldn't do that, of course, but it does remind you that with certain games, people could do this, and it can definitely affect you.
Yeah. The people have argued that fair use applies to this, but a lot of people have said no. Like, for it to be fair use, we would have to be transforming it in some way, and it could be argued that because of the way video games work, each playthrough is different, and by talking over it, by the way we interact with it, it transforms it.
Yeah.
But I would not say it's to the extent that fair use would apply. And there's definitely people who there's lots of videos out there who are just, here are the cutscenes from Uncharted. And
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, those have been getting
those
passed.
Wouldn't apply.
Yeah. I mean, even Rift Tracks, which does like comedic stuff over movies, those you kind of have to like do those kind of on the sly. Like, they can sell you the audio, but they can't give you the audio with the video because that's not transformative enough. You have to like kind of sync it up at the same time and make it work. So
yeah,
it basically, the only reason we are allowed to stream is because no one has fought us. And if PewDiePie,
I mean, it's free advertising.
Yeah,
that's the thing. A lot of PR, a lot of public relations people from different studios and different publishing studios like really want people to stream it, really like help streamers, and like, here's a sponsored stream and stuff like that. Like, if you're smart and the person doesn't say racial slurs, it's probably a good idea to support it.
Yeah, I mean, PUBG probably is what it is because of streamers. People, I mean, I bought PUBG to play with one of the streamers, Scribbly. Like, I saw him and I was like, oh, this is fun, and he was playing with some people. I was like, oh, I'll check this game out, and hopped in with him. And I probably would not even know the game existed without streamers like him. And playing with streamers is definitely encourages people to get these games. So yeah, it's definitely huge advertising for them. And I mean, it could be argued of like, Firewatch is a walking simulator that is just like a story, and the way you play it is not going to be different. It is basically a movie that you are playing. So what transformative abilities you have is pretty arguable. But man, like, what if someone ever took this to court, it could either open up like, depending on how the judge decides, this could be like one of the biggest cases ever. Probably not ever, but like for all streamers, depending on how the judge swung, they could either open up the gates of like, hey, Nintendo, actually, they said everything's fair use, we win, or they could say, actually, no, shut down Twitch, everybody's over. And we've just, the developers have just been chill about it, and streamers have been chill about it, and we've just all just had kind of a silent like agreement about it. So
yeah, I feel like most even if a big case came down where it's like it came down in favor against the streamer, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it would affect everyone. Like, I don't think there could be one case that would say like Twitch is dead. It would have to be insane. Like, the whole, it's too developed now. Like, it's too late, I feel like, at this point, for them to do something that big. But it's still possible, but highly unlikely.
I mean, it would basically kind of be treated the way it is, where everybody kind of agrees that, hey, it's kind of illegal, but even Campo Santo on their website, under their FAQ, has, can I stream this game? Can I make money off these streams? And they said, yes, we love that people stream and share their experiences in the game. You are free to monetize your videos as well. And they're even saying, hey, let us know, we might come to your chat. So they see the benefit of this and they encourage it. But for something that would be bad for their brand, like PewDiePie's actions, they definitely are taking a moral stance. Because I am sure people have bought Firewatch because of PewDiePie, but they don't want someone who says the N-word associated with their game, which I totally get.
Yeah. It's I think it's totally a reasonable stance. Also, we haven't heard from Darian about this.
Yeah,
What do you
Darren,
think?
what do you have to say?
I don't know. It's a really touchy subject. Like, as a streamer, it definitely complicates things. You know, like, I don't want this to turn into some big, like, snowball effect where, like, this creates more opportunities for people to go after people for using their content. Like, I don't want to see it get bigger.
Yeah.
Because that could mean really bad stuff for streamers and Let's Players in the future.
Yeah. And I don't think it really will. I don't think so. I think it's just that people are going to treat it on a case-by-case basis. So,
Yeah.
I don't think there's nothing really to, like, worry about, but it's just a good reminder when something like this happens.
Yeah. Let all streamers, please, any content creators, be Let's Players, streamers, anything, your actions reflect a lot of people. So not only is it, affecting how people see you, PewDiePie's actions are affecting how all Let's Players are seen, and by developers. Yeah. So just be cool, guys. Come on, be cool.
Yeah, hopefully that didn't need to be said, but we live in an interesting world.
Yeah. maybe stop saying racial slurs.
Maybe just don't be a dick. Yeah.
I think that's probably all we have to say about that. So let's move into questions. If you have a question, you can submit it at ReadySetGamecast/submit. I know I have said different addresses in previous, and technically they all work. This is
the one for the week.
But I've created ReadySetGamecast.com as a blog where all the episodes will have links and everything, so that will be your home. We'll also have little pictures of us and profiles. You can, if you're looking at the audio, you can see what we look like and cool stuff. So we have a question from Grunt Cooker, which I'll let Teddy answer.
You want to read it?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Why did Bungie go with Rat King instead of Rat Queen?
So here's the thing. Bungie hates women. That is the reason. They didn't want to ever include a queen, so they went with king. I'm lying. That's not true.
Okay. Great answer.
No, it's not true. Don't think that. It's a lie.
I was like, all right, sounds reasonable.
And there goes our...
I love how Darian was the one most okay with that. Jeez.
There goes our sponsorship with Bungie.
Lol.
We have another question from Matt of Matt A Plays. And
Wait, so we're not gonna like answer it? Like just they hate women.
Well, it was
Moving
a joke
on.
question.
it's not a
'cause-
real question. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
not
just
a real
the
question.
name.
The gun is called Rat King, and he was like, "Why is it called Rat Queen?" I don't know, Grunt. Because it's called Rat King. I don't know. Say, talk to My Name is Bife about it. I'm sure there's some lore behind the gun that I'm not knowledgeable on. You know.
It would be cool.
Oh, so
all
it's
I
a
needed.
gun?
Yeah, it would be cool. It's actually
Yeah, it's a sidearm.
it's actually kind of cool. It's got like 3 rats engraved in the side of it.
It looks cool aesthetically.
It would be cool if, depending on which gender, sex you were playing as, it had a different name. That would be interesting.
Oh, that would be cool. They would never do that, though.
Next question. Matt of Matt A Plays asks, and I'll let Darian take this one. What's a Mario sports theme game you'd like to play on the Switch? And Matt has an answer for us, but we'll chime in ourselves. Personally, I'd like to see a suite of sports like Wii Sports did, but Mario. I like tennis and golf I think tennis and golf are the obvious choices. What other sports would complete the pack?
Bowling.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, when the Wii came out, like, Wii Sports was the reason the Wii got big, because, like, families would do Wii bowling together. Like, my grandma got all of her kids' families' Wii's for Christmas one year because we'd go to grandma's and play Wii bowling, and she's like, no, you guys can play it anytime. And so, I mean, I would like to play Mario bowling, because, like, picking a Mario character and then bowling with them, and then all the sorts of little weird effects they could definitely add in, like sound effects and stuff, would be really cool.
I mean, I think bowling was
Or
probably the
baseball.
one that worked the best on the Wii. And also,
I was all about the baseball. I like the
like
Wii Sports
baseball, too.
baseball. That was one of my favorites.
but the fact
Just
that, like,
all of the Wii Sports games. Make them into Mario games, please.
the fact that you could bring your Switch somewhere and then play bowling would, like, it would have all of the, like, Wii bowling stuff, but you can bring it to the people
God.
instead of having them to come over. It would be
Can
so
you
simple.
imagine if they just did Wii Sports, but somehow on the Switch?
That would be dope.
That would be interesting.
They wouldn't call it Wii
The
Sports, it'd be
Joy-Cons
Switch
don't have
Sports.
all of the motion capabilities, but they have some. So it's like, maybe.
They got that
Yeah,
HD
it's
Rumble.
Like, yeah.
How many balls are in the cup? I'm excited for Mario Golf. I don't have a Switch, but I just
for this
really like
game.
golf video games. I played a lot of Everybody's Golf, as you guys know. But here's the thing. Would the Mario Golf on the Switch be as good as Everybody's Golf? No. Come on. We've reached a pinnacle of golf games. There's no topping it, you know? But that's what I would want to see.
Just wait till July, and then you can play the motion-controlled version of the NES game.
Yeah, July 11th and only July 11th.
And only if you can do the thing right. Because in the video, it shows him do it like 5 times before registering.
Well, that's what I'll have to do.
So that is all of the questions for the week. As a reminder, if you want to be part of the show, go to readysetgamecast.com/submit to submit a question, comment, or way to summon the dark gods for us to read on the show.
Jeez, I didn't know we were doing that.
Well,
Didn't know that's what
Please
we
don't
were
do
doing.
that.
Yeah, don't.
Please don't do that one.
Hey, if
I'd rather not.
somebody knows. Okay, time for the housekeeping.
Someone just has that information. Just go ahead and drop it in our submit.
Oh, this is my chance. Time to summon the dark.
I've known all this time. I just was hoping someone would ask.
Oh, shit.
Okay. You can go to readysetgamecast.com for links to the podcast on all your favorite podcast services, including iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, as well as the video version on YouTube. And if you like the show, please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes and Stitcher. It helps us grow and become more powerful. Okay, where can people find you? Darian.
Twitch.tv/dexterity. And Twitter and Instagram. Dexter IDE. That's how you spell that one.
Okay.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Teddy Chinaris, TEDDYCHINARIS. The last name is a little bit, well, you know, some people might not know how to spell it. But you can also find me on Twitter at the same thing, Teddy Chinaris. And then YouTube, you know, just search it every now and then. Once every 4 months, I put up a YouTube video. So, hey, you know, gotta be ready for it.
Going on a year now.
Jeez. Bryce?
I am Last Geek on Twitter, Last Geek Plays on Twitch, and lastgeek.com should have links to everything. I really need to overhaul that now that it's an ugly website, but it does have links, and I'll make it pretty at some point.
It works.
Yes. Okay, that has been episode 2 of Ready Set Gamecast. I really hope I can make this into something because we had more technical issues than the last time.
Yeah, you know what? We believe in you, Bryce, and I'll just leave everybody with the fact that we said at the beginning, Bryce let me know, I'll say this real fast, Bryce let me know randomly that Rick Riordan is making more books in the Percy Jackson universe, so I bought them, and I'm reading them. That is all. Good night, everybody.
I was heckling Teddy because he was playing Trials on Destiny, and I was like, oh, is this Trials of Olympus, which is like a mobile game? And then he's like, I don't know what that is. And then somebody in his voice chat was like, Percy Jackson. So I was like, oh, maybe that's what it is. So I Googled Trials of Olympus plus Percy Jackson and found Trials of Apollo.
Which is his new series, and it's pretty good.
And I was like,
I'm enjoying it.
I was like, hey, Teddy, is this Trials of Apollo? And he was like, I don't know what that is. I was like, you don't know a Percy Jackson book? You're Mr. Percy Jackson.
I went and immediately ordered them off of Amazon, and it's been great.
Yeah, so
he's treating it as the capstone to the Percy Jackson series, the universe. So we're seeing all the characters again. They're getting cameos. It's great. Anyways, have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.